Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Are you enjoying this choppy behavior? Yeah, this is a Fed Powell speech, tried and true. We see this happen all the time. Fundamental catalyst shoots the price up to about 62,300, dips all the way back down to 60,700, and now it's trying to bounce off that previous range. So it's really interesting and odd behavior. Par for the course, of course, but at the same accord, nothing too crazy also as well. What I mean by that is just try not to have this little like concern or overreaction to this, because this is kind of what they want you to do. They swept the shorts and now they're going to try to sweep the late longs. It's just kind of one of those crazy little things here that is pretty much normal. So I hate to normalize it, but this is an ugly candle. And it's pretty much standard. So as per usual, when I have my X on the chart, this is a confirming factor if the price can close above that level. Okay, when I say close, just to clarify, it's the daily candlestick needs to close above, right? We got this pretty solid resistance here. We got to get back up over that. 61,800 is that rough estimate, okay? So that's where we're at. That's kind of the overall overview. What's going on with the liquidation levels in the back end? Let's go ahead and see here. So when it comes to liquidation, a lot of times situations like this will occur where you can see some late shorts there. Each one of these, probably a good like $5 to $10 billion in liquidation just got destroyed there at 61.8. And then of course, when the price pulls back down, some late longs could also have gotten hit. So again, be careful being a late long in situations like this. It's usually best not to try to catch the runner. Again, bullish markets, different story altogether. You can have some good fortune there, but generally speaking, when you're waiting for confirmation, you're looking for good trades. Jumping into something that shoots up or shoots down is never truly the best practice. It's usually best to wait it out. And I know my viewers or my subscribers, my members, whoever, they all kind of get frustrated when I say to wait. But again, situations like this, it calls for being patient, and it's important to recognize that. The quick thing to understand here too, though, and this is just standard, we've known this for a while, 63,000 is a heavy concentration liquidation. So I wouldn't be surprised we do see one more aggressive push up to that level, and then the price maybe pull back. That may never happen too, of course. Keep in mind that's a very significant range because it's having difficulty getting to that level. The 61 and 62,000 levels are very strong in resistance. Okay, so just some things kind of be mindful of. It doesn't necessarily mean much at this point, and honestly, it's a little too early to tell which direction things are going to go. While that's a positive fundamental catalyst, in the overall sentiment, we were talking about this in our community. I saw the chat there, and people were just talking a lot about the history and generally speaking how these type of situations can actually initially start as a bearish type of divergence. So again, I wouldn't put it past it, but this is all speculation based on just simple normal stuff in the market. From a technical standpoint, we've got to wait. There's really no other way around it. And why don't we take a quick look here and just kind of verify a few things. First of all, we bounced off 50 on the RSI on the daily time frame. That's actually a very positive sign. It's not a bad thing at all. While money flow index is pulling back and stochastic's getting to its maxed out state, we're in a situation right now where this does look like it wants to break to the upside. There's definitely some positive there. You just got to keep in mind when we look at our moving averages, we're not over the 50-day SMA, and that's usually a good starting point. Okay, so being over the 20 is positive. We're not, there's no doubt that this is a good sign. But the truth in this here is that we are not in a there's no full-on confirmation, but we're getting there, okay? And that's a good sign. Ultimately, we can kind of summarize that as positive. Take a look at the 4-hour candle here. This is a pretty dang ugly candle. But yeah, we got somewhat of a gravestone doji candle forming, okay? So if we do close in this range here and can't go much further within the next hour or two, I would say it's pretty safe to presume the price should pull back. Again, this is kind of one of those tricking type of situations where the market makers, they're going to try to push you into long positions because you think it's going to break out. As soon as it does, it just rips right back down. I'm not super convinced that we're back on track. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Daily time frame does look positive. And let's see what the 4-hour tells us. I mean, we're over 50 on the RSI. That's great. We can see money flow index is increasing. Also good, but standard for when you see this pump, kind of like we just saw. Stochastic is swinging up, and MACD is trying to converge. These are generally favorable signs, okay? But again, nothing super out of the ordinary here. But thus being over this local point of control, it's a very positive sign too. So keep in mind, being over that 60,000 mark, or just round number 59,500, that's the area that we need to make sure we stay above. That's why I have this X on the chart here too, because that's when we're going to be, if the price does end up breaking down into like somewhat of a bearish type of trend, we need to be mindful that might be a good consideration for a short entry if the price holds below that level too. Granted, a lot of this hinges on the fact that we need to be able to see candlestick closures on the daily above or below some of these areas that I'm looking or focusing on. Between now and then, like trading this kind of chop doesn't make a ton of sense. Again, if you're a day trader, you're scalping, different story altogether. Hopefully you had some good luck with that. But the truth is, unless you're monitoring your trades 24/7, it's always best to wait a little bit longer. In this case here, patience is going to be paramount. We got a pretty significant amount of volume here with a bearish type of doji candle. Generally, those do break to the downside because it shows the price was unable to break through that resistance. But again, this market right now, it's giving us so many false positives. It can be very challenging to to understand those things. So I would say this is probably my lightest month for taking trades. I've taken very few trades this month, and a lot of it just hinges on the simple fact that it's a very ugly market, and it's kind of where it's at. It sounds like an excuse, but it's legit, folks. Good traders are usually the ones kind of hanging out on the sidelines waiting for good opportunities, and we're seeing a lot less of them. So just be mindful of that. Other than that, we are still on the positive side here. This is actually a good sign overall. Believe it or not, regardless of everything we're seeing here so far, we can see the cloud. Ichimoku cloud's working its way up. We're above the cloud. Conversion line is above the baseline, and the lagging span is free and clear. So technically, you should be able to take a long position in this type of situation here, or at least with these confirming factors, with more confidence. So everything we've seen here so far for Bitcoin, I would say, in general, is looking mostly positive. Okay, every time frame has a slightly higher probability of the price going up. Okay, so keep that in mind. You just got to recognize too, though, there's a lot of things kind of factoring in here, and it's a really interesting market. So just trade carefully if you could. If you are going to err on the side of caution, it does seem like longs might seem a little bit more effective or more successful at this point, specifically with Bitcoin based on what we're seeing here so far with the hourly. This is generally a favorable sign. Okay, so overall, that's kind of where we're at. I hope that makes sense. It feels weird to kind of just, to actually say that with all this nonsense here, but the truth is this is very shaky and not the kind of trading conditions I love. Once more, though, you never truly know, and nowadays you don't get a ton of great opportunities. There's just no other way around it. Me personally, I'd much rather feel comfortable waiting until today's candlestick closes, we get more confirmation. If you're not willing to do that, just know there's slightly more bullish signs here on the charts that are pointing up versus pointing down. So it's kind of where we're at there for Bitcoin. I hope that makes sense. I described that correctly. Deeply appreciate y'all watching. Once more, just low leverage, low position size is probably the best way to go in this market, just to ensure you're not getting absolutely destroyed. If you do use high leverage, and you're having fun with it, that's okay. Just expect to lose the money, or more importantly, use very low position size just so you kind of get the feel for it. You never want to go high leverage, high position. It's a pathway to the dark side. It's not a good place to be. Anyways, thanks again for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Have yourself a great rest of your day. Take care.